Alright, hey folks, we're going to be having another stream today. I don't know why the replay client always opens in the bottom right corner, that's really weird. But this is going to be another viewer game, and today's hero is Wickidbliss on Maokai. Looks like his team has an Anivia, a Vigar, and a Jax, and we can't see the last one yet, whereas on, okay, and an Ashe. Whereas on the other team, we've got an MF, Katarina, Akali, Alistar, and Nidalee. In terms of team advantage, we can see right off the bat that neither team has a jungler, so neither team gets a huge gold and XP advantage from that. Lanes are going to be a little problematic for both teams because both Katarina, Akali, and Nidalee really want solo lanes, and Vigar and Anivia really want solo lanes, and Ashe really wants a support, as does MF. So there's not good ways to lane this. I think probably I would put Anivia mid, and then Vigar with Ashe and Maokai with Jax for our team, and for the other team I would probably put Katarina mid and then do Alistar MF because that's going to be a good lane, and Akali Nidalee, but we'll see what they do. Let me real quick fix this. Alright. So bottom lane right away is getting in a little bit of a fight here. We can't see their health. And we're throwing down saplings, which of course is good to do on Maokai. Looks like Wickidbliss is laning with Vigar, and we've got Anivia mid. The other team has put Alistar with Katarina. So we should be able to harass them pretty effectively since they have sort of limited range, and we've got a stun. That was weird. That sapling didn't go off, or that's possibly the thing bugging out. And they've got a Akali MF bottom lane, which is going to put Nidalee mid lane. Because Maokai's spells are pretty efficient, we can just harass the Alistar down. Alistar should really have based instead of using a pod there. I don't know why he decided that would be more efficient. You can see Alistar's build is actually very supporty. This is a really good build for support champions. You get the mana regen that you need on Alistar. You get the ward. You get 2 wards with this build, so it looks like he's already put one down, probably in one of these lane brushes. And you get the pots to keep you in the lane. Actually, you go in 3 pots, so he might not have had 2 wards. I can't recall exactly how much gold that is. Nidalee versus Anivia. The Anivia had better win in the first 2 or 3 levels, because otherwise things will become very difficult for her as Nidalee's heal just starts outpacing Anivia's ability to deal damage. The sapling's chasing down Katarina there, but we're getting daggered. Maokai, obviously, because presumably we're running Strength of Spirit with the Sapphire Crystal, has a ton of health regen with his passive as well. This lane should be... Jax should have stunned there. This lane should be pretty dangerous for Akali MF, who just don't have the damage output that Jax Ashe can deal. Because with Ashe's volley and Jax's leap strike, they just have a bunch of bursts. Anivia over here is doing a bunch of mid lane stuff. So far, both teams being pretty passive and just farming, which is good. That's what they should do. It's also really good that we're pushing our lane here because there's no jungler on the other team, so they actually have no way to punish us for just pushing, and they're going to miss a bunch of last hits under turret. No one on either team is last hitting particularly well. Although MF bot lane is actually doing not bad, which is surprising to me. Akali's at 0 though, so just trading a bunch of damage here. Alistar's slowly running out of mana. He really needs to finish his Philo Stone before he spams his skills that heavily. But he's got a mana pot, so that'll help him a bit. Vygar went Meki Pendant 2 health pot, which I really don't like. Vygar's mana starved early, but I feel like what you really mostly need is just boots, so that you can evade ganks easily. Or not evade ganks, but just like kite around and last hit, basically. The Meki Pendant will get you a few more Qs. Oh, I missed First Blood. My bad. We still can't see Jax's health, but it looks like he narrowly escaped that tower dive. Vygar is in trouble over here, but with a stun and binding and all that creep ran the wrong way. We have no mana, so he gotta back out. If Alistar had walked past and headbutted us backwards, probably would have died. So it's really good to get that kill on the MF because she was one of the people who was farming best in the game. We can see Anivia is starting to take a small CS lead over Nidalee. And we're having to base. The problem with missing a bunch of CS early is that you end up having to base with a really awkward amount of gold like this. Probably get boots and pots here, or wait for the health crystal. Looks like we're waiting for the health crystal. Yep. I might have gotten boots and pots, but I don't think waiting just for lane sustainability. But waiting for the health crystal probably isn't bad. And we can see that Vygar's having only 2 pots and not having boots is letting Katarina harass him with blades a lot. Katarina also, her build I don't like very much because Amptome Pot leaves you very vulnerable to harassment. It doesn't really help you with fighting. And you end up with having to burn your, if you end up having to burn your pot early, which you probably will in a duo lane, you're gonna be extremely weak. It does get you a fast hex tech, but again, I think boots 3 pots is just better on Katarina. Alistar's build I already commented on, and I really like that. Nidalee has a Doran Ring, which is pretty legit. Anivia Sapphire 2 pots, which, like, fine. Akali boots pots, and MF went, it looks like Doran Blade first, and then got boots and some pots. Jax went Doran Shield into a fast Ninja Tabby, and Ashe hasn't chopped yet, but got a Doran Blade. So all reasonable builds, except I don't like Vygar's or Katarina's. Looks like Nidalee is, bullying the crap out of Anivia there. Oh, but she dies to creeps. I really wish you could see health here. It would be a lot easier to comment intelligently on those fights, because I can say things like, oh, it looks like Nidalee's gonna egg Anivia, but then she dies to creeps, and I can't talk about that usefully. Riot's fault, of course, for not having an actual replay system. Sort of sucks for us that that ran after the Katarina instead of getting the cannon and the range creep there. No, Anivia's backing, and we're fighting over here. Vygar's gone, but we should be able to escape. We're maxing sapling toss, which is pretty much correct on Maokai in, like, basically all circumstances. It does a ton of damage, it has a ton of utility, it's just such a good skill. That's what makes him a good champion. Plus they're hilarious, because they go out and they go, which is, I find them adorably cute. Oh, the sapling doesn't quite kill the range creeps there. We need level 4 sapling so that we can one-shot range creeps. and that'll help our sort of lackluster CS a bit. It's alright for Vygar to be getting most of the CS though, because he scales really well and Maokai doesn't. That was a very odd flash. And because Maokai has no mana, Vygar's dead. Yep. Maokai is probably gonna have... Oh, Katarina misclicks. That was really lucky. Katarina clicked on the creep instead of us, because that Shunpo would have killed us. But she done fucked up. We get a quick ignite kill. So that's really nice. See Anivia taking spears there. Italy's got a pickaxe first, so I guess she's going Rage Blade. And Anivia's got Catalyst, which is obviously pretty good. Ash still hasn't had to go shopping yet, so she should, in theory, be getting fairly farmed. And with 40 CS, she's actually pretty close to the top of the game. Anivia is getting pretty strong here, so that'll be good. Provided that she doesn't die to Akali's gank here. Vygar Cullen are missing, so that's nice. Maokai's a really interesting champion because he can solo effectively, he can support effectively. I apologize for that, I missed that kill as well. He can solo effectively, he can support effectively, and he can even jungle effectively. He's just a really versatile and strong champion. And when he hits 7, he one-shots ranged minions, which gives him really good farming opportunity. Because Ash got that kill, she's going to be fairly powerful when she gets to go shopping. With 42 last hits and a kill. That should probably put her right around like attack speed boots and another Doran. And some pots. Our lane gets ganked, but Katarina is actually going to go down, which comes from her not having any defensive items. She actually went a pickaxe instead of a fast revolver, which I think is terrible. You really want that revolver to keep you up in lane. And with Anivia coming in, too bad about not being able to follow up on that wall. That was a pretty good wall. But with Anivia coming in, they're able to clean up, and they should get the tower here. Anivia, thank you, minimized the game by accident. Ash still not shopping. Jack still not shopping. Anivia is gonna get egged here. But with Maokai in, can throw down a sapling at some point. Should probably have ulted there for the extra damage. Oh, that Akali must be really close to dead, but we don't want to get baited too far. Good blink out. That was well played. And Anivia going a little crazy, but isn't going to get anything there. But you can see Katarina, who's running, I guess, no defensive items and no defensive masters or runes, is just getting chunked by creeps. She's so weak right now. Katarina really needs a little bit of tankiness in order to get her ult off effectively. Anivia basing, she probably has a blasting one, but not the full rod yet. I'm curious to see how farmed Ash is getting, because Jack's escaping on very low health yet again. And we actually get to see his health this time. So I'm curious to see what Ash is going to get when she finally gets a farm. At this rate, she might be able to pick up, like, attack speed, boots, BF sword, something like that. See, that's one of the strengths of Maokai, is it's very hard to push against him, because he can just clear those range creeps instantly. Should be using Q or auto-attacking to get that extra last hit. Ash dying because she hasn't shopped yet. I feel like she should have taken the opportunity to shop earlier. At some point. Yeah. Katarina getting obliterated by that sapling. And Alistar actually taking a fair amount of damage from creeps too. At this point with Catalyst and Blasting Wand, we do a lot of damage and they can't hurt us. We can probably just 2v1 them. With our ult. With Maokai ult reducing damage. It's pretty effective counter to Katarina. Who runs right into that one. Would have liked to see a stun from Vygar there. Could have probably got the Alistar or at least forced his ult. Gotta be careful though, because with the turret down, we can push very far up, which leaves us vulnerable. And Nivea doing some more strange stuff back here, and she's got a Soul Stealer. I really don't like Soul Stealer first item on a Nivea, because you're so vulnerable to focus. You really just need a ton of AP in order to get those kills. But it looks like they'll pick up, yep, the ult explosion picks off Katarina. Alistar flashes, I feel like that was unnecessary. Even if he got hit by the stun, they have no mana and Vygar doesn't have a stun. He could have just kept walking. Or, at worst, ulted his way out, which is a much less important skill than stun. MF's dead, of course, so that's nice. And Ash has managed to pick up Berserker Greaves, BF Sword, Dornblade, and a Brawler Gloves, which presumably is going to go into a Zeal. Don't like getting the crit gloves first, you should get the dagger first on AD carries. Especially ones like Ash that don't have native attack speed scaling. It helps a lot. Whereas the crit gloves, they help a bit, don't get me wrong, crits are always nice. But until you get sort of eye-edge Zeal, you're not going to be able to reliably crit. I actually haven't watched this game beforehand, so I don't know who's going to win, and I don't know what's going to happen. But at the moment, it looks like a pretty convincing lead for our team, who should be going to Dragon right now. Definitely when you win a fight like in their jungle like this, splitting off to grab creeps is just much less valuable than getting Dragon. Vygar sort of camping over here. He doesn't really have the burst to just one-shot people, but he can actually take out a bunch of those wraiths. He should cue that. Yeah, there you go. Vygar having a little bit of trouble with the wraith camp there. That's pretty funny. Anivia's got 5 stacks. I feel like that's mostly luck. But 5 stack and blue buff Anivia. The reason I feel like that's mostly luck is that I don't feel like the Soul Stealer first gives you the power to actually get those kills. You really need your rod or something just for survivability. We're now getting Dragon. This is a much worse time to Dragon than when I called it before, because the whole enemy team is up and nearby. We'll probably get it, but they may be able to force us into a bad fight. Since only Wall of Anivia's skills gives vision, she's just throwing stuns blind, which isn't bad. Vygar able to catch that box there. Alistar ulting extremely late. I was wondering if maybe he didn't have it up, but he just waited far too long. That's something that Alistars often do, is they think their ult is Kael's ult, rather than a damage reduction ult. You really want to hit that sooner rather than later. Like, don't blow it at the first opportunity. That was a pretty good wall, but they're too low health to capitalize. With Rod of Ages, at 18 minutes as a dual lane Maokai, that actually leaves us quite strong. Much stronger than most of the enemy team. Vygar's got an Archangel Staff, which continues his trend of building really bad items. Getting not a DFG or a Death Cap on Vygar strikes me as really weak. Archangel Staff leaves you with 1200 health, as you can see, and doesn't actually give him that much AP. He's got 104. Which is like, if you'd spent half this on a needlessly large rod, he would have 104 AP, and you know, a whole bunch of gold to spend on a blasting wand for more AP, or Doran rings for more AP and mana regen and survivability. I don't know. Archangel staff is the numbers on it are very low, so it's a very weak item inherently. And as a first item, it's especially weak because it only gives you one thing, and you spend a ton of the value of that item just on mana. And maximum mana is not actually that valuable, unless you're Rise. Even Rise, though, shouldn't really be building Archangel staff. At least not until very late in the game. The other thing is that it scales off of a stat that you don't have much of yet. Like, if you were getting sort of Banshee Veil and whatever, then it would suddenly give you a bunch of damage. But getting it first, it doesn't hold up, especially because it's hard to build up your tier early. I know I'm harping on this, but I hate that item. Anivia, unfortunately, missing that stun would make this quite difficult. With Alistar's ult, we're going to end up tanking turrets for much longer than we want to. Alright. Katarina ult's able to pick up 1 kill. I don't... Actually, triple kill for Katarina. Oh, but that was an execution. Anivia's going to feed here, too. At least you got the Katarina. But not worth it when you have stacks. I don't actually know how Wickidbliss died there. I thought he was safe. It's possible that someone let the bouncing blade snap to him. But our team just got really greedy and dove in a silly situation. Which is setting they're still way ahead, but the other team is getting set back into the game by mistakes like that. See, Jax has got Hextech Rage Blade, so he's pretty strong in a straight up fight, but doesn't do much damage in a poking war. Ashe has a reasonable, has most of her Phantom Dancer, and still a BF Sword. Getting BF Sword then Phantom Dancer is better than going straight Phantom Dancer, but I still think you really should just finish the Eye Edge before you start getting Zeals and stuff. It's because attack speed and crit chance are both skills that scale off of damage, and when you don't have any damage, they aren't worth very much. I mean, sure, like you can have 100% crit chance and attack 10 times a second, but if you only do 80 damage, then your 100% crit chance is just you're critting for 160, whereas hitting with an Eye Edge, you'll crit for like 400. Obviously better. We're able to pick off that last hit with our ultimate here. Anivia getting a little bit too far ahead, but she does have 8 stacks now, so that's going pretty well. Even despite that death. Looks like Nidalee has some magic resist. Yeah, she's got mercs. Katarina's items are terrible. She's going Gunblade, getting some ward. She's gotten really shut down this game, which is nice because Katarina really needs to snowball in order to be effective. Leaving saplings behind to guard our escape paths. Oh, Ashe missing that arrow. If she'd hit that arrow, that would have been a kill, but as it is, she's just gonna die. And so's, unfortunately, Maokai and probably Anivia too. I'd be really surprised if we got out. Yeah, and I'd be really surprised if Anivia got out. Oh! She's able to kill the Anivia, but the creeps get her. That's really sad. Not that she would have got out anyways. Jack's getting exhausted, and he's dead. That was more or less just a feed. Can't run in like that. Oh! With how weak MF is, he's able to pick that up. Really surprised there. Dang! Alright, what do I know? Jax, got 2 kills there, so worth it. Vygar getting a blasting one, so I assume he's going Death Cap next.
Your turret has been destroyed.
Ash now has a Phantom Dancer, so she's getting fairly strong. That should still just be an eye edge and attack speed boots and like another Doran ring, and then start building the Phantom Dancer now. But that's not terrible. At least she's got items. We've got a Sheen now, so our damage is getting quite high. Once that turns into a Lich Bane or something, it's gonna get pretty strong. Probably able to pick up a second free dragon this game, which is nice. Getting set pretty far ahead. You can see Ash's DPS for 25 minutes is quite low, given how much gold she has. Oh, with the Anivia there, gotta react. Okay, good. Or Anivia, Akali. Ash was able to not turn on frost arrows, and then we almost didn't notice, so that was a little bit of a difficult play. Katarina going in for the Vygar and trading for him. I'm not sure if that was worth it or not. I'm not sure who's stronger, but it looks like Nidalee getting too aggressive there. Should have just killed the Maokai rather than diving in past them all for the Ash. MF is going to die here to Jax. Yep. So good fight. 22 to 11 in our favor. Getting pretty. This game is getting fairly out of control for the other team. Ash's teleport, letting her get up top. She's got a pickaxe now, so her damage is starting to get reasonable. Should be able to pick up the eye edge sometime in the next 2 to 3 minutes. Getting 28-ish minute eye edge Phantom Dancer. Skipping a Doran Blade in my build. Like when I build Ash, I build 2 Doran Blades or sometimes 3. So not terrible farm, not fantastic farm, but given that Jax also wants creeps, it could be a lot worse. You can see 139 for Ash and 123 for Vygar, who's actually doing quite well. Ash is gonna die here because she turned around. Oh, that's brutal. Yeah, Ash could have escaped if she hadn't just sort of run back and forth like that. I don't know what that was all about. Jax coming in, and with the red buff, will probably be able to slow Nidalee enough to kill her. He should have just kept chasing. And they're able to ambush and pick off Katarina here. Vygar saying report Ash, I guess for dying there. It's always so funny how mad people get in this game. Like, she didn't even play badly. In fact, Ash is one of the players playing best on this team. Anivia is doing really well, obviously, getting 20 stacks. I still don't like the Soul Stealer, but hey, if you get 20 stacks, awesome. Maokai is playing quite well as well, just getting good bindings and good tackles here. And it looks like this is going to turn out in a pretty convincing win, unless something terrible happens. With Ash split pushing bot, probably just fall back here. I don't think they had the burst to drop them, yeah. Bit of a feed by Vygar there. Getting oracles is nice, because that'll reveal the Akali, and also if they have wards, which they clearly don't because the other team's not playing very well. This tower should go down momentarily, yep. And this tower is going to be under some pressure soon, but we probably shouldn't pursue this, because the other team's all up. Yeah, and we're dead here because of the exhaust. Oh. Actually, you know, escape. No, okay. Should not have turned to throw that sapling that let Katarina catch up. I don't think she was going to. But Anivia, wow, that burst with the death cap 20 stacks. She's got 604 AP. Embarrassing the crap out of this Vargar. Got 455. That was... I would rather have seen a stun there than an ult. Instead of a wasted ult by Vargar. Who's gonna die. It's too bad that Stunwall doesn't stop blinks like that. That would have been cute by Alistar if Anivia had gone under the turret there, but since she wasn't in range, I feel like that was just really dangerous. He could have gotten Nidalee killed. Jax, with once again no mana, is going to be highly unable to accomplish anything under the turret. So we rebought our oracles and we got another catalyst for a Banshees. Alistar with a Spirit Visage, that's interesting. Maokai with Void Staff first, even though no one has bought any magic resist. You can see actually 0 magic resist items. No, wait, I lied, there's a Merc Treads. You can see precisely 1 magic resist item on our team, and the Akali went Void Staff first. So, no wonder she's not doing very well. Katarina's Gunblade first has left her with no... like, Gunblade's not a bad item on Katarina, but you need something in between, like even Adorned Shield, just to keep you alive early game. So she's getting... that's why she has 7 deaths. MF's items are god-awful, like, that's ridiculous. Clearly new to MF, I think, because those items are just terrible for a ranged champion. Yeah. Not much to say about that. What you should go is something like High Edge Phantom Dancer, like Ashe is going, or Bloodthirster Phantom Dancer, even Black Cleaver, just to sort of play with your stacking mechanism. Just one of the 3 BF sword items on any ranged AD carry is going to do well. Ghostblade is awful. And the emblem is really weird because Starks isn't very good. Not even on champions who Starks would be good on, which MF isn't one. If you want life steal, get a Bloodthirster. Blue's down, so no blue for Anivia, who now has a Void Staff. A little better because the other team has at least one person who's building magic resist, and also because Void Staff after AP items is much stronger. Ashe doing a good job trying to cancel that, but of course Katarina with no survivability is just dying beforehand. We're tanking a bunch of turret, which I don't think we need to. And Anivia missing the wall, unfortunately. But at this point, I don't think it's terribly relevant. Wow. Nidalee stuck around to get hit by that. That's really bad. Jax almost feeding. If Nidalee had thrown her spear down instead of that way, that would have been an easy Jax kill. I can't scroll up chat. Okay. Jax looking for the red. Anivia sticking around, which I think is really scary. Really don't want to feed 20 stacks. Ligar looks like he's going to get probably a Banshee Veil. Ash just 1v1ing the Akali, no worries. And able to pick off their red too. She's getting lifesteal. Normally here, you would have 2 Doran Blades, which gives you enough lifesteal to sort of heal up between fights. But because she only has 1 Doran Blade, she needs to buy the Stamp Scepter. I really think you should get multiple Doran Blades on an AD carry. It makes you much more survivable and more likely to get farm. It didn't matter this game because her team is just dominating. I'm actually surprised that last shot didn't kill her. Okay, there we go. Meanwhile, we're getting chased. That's too bad. But they should easily pick up the inhib here, and that should be GG. MF getting chunked by Ash. Ash can just turn and kill Akali too. Jax life stealing from the Akali. Ash can just turn and kill Katarina as well. Katarina infinitely slow on that ult, but that does bait Jax in to die. Ash can just keep right-clicking that Alistar too. She could have easily killed him as well. Turn on Frost Arrows, you only need 8 mana. And with the red buff. Fireguard's pushing bot meanwhile. You get a respawn. Have now completed our Banshee Veil, so items looking good. Ash is gonna have probably most of a Bloodthirster when she goes back. 5 and 3. Jax is 10 and 4 and now getting really strong. He's got a Lich Bane. And Anivia is building looks like a Banshees, which is not a bad plan at all. Especially given MF's terrible build, she's going to be doing 0 damage. So just getting magic resist is going to ruin their team. Still no one buying magic resist, which seems really weird to me since all of their damage is magical. We should see more than just the one Banshee Veil. And yeah, Akali did go Void Staff first. Akali is a champion that really should have a Gunblade. And like a Rylai's, but it looks like she's going Death Cap and this weird Amp Tome. I'm not sure about that. Fireguard, Jacket and Nivea's blue. Really should be on Nivea, not Fireguard, although both can use it reasonably. Free Baron. Good job warding over the sides with saplings. That's one of the main uses of that skill, is doing things like that, and that's obviously a really powerful use. Jack's able to pick up the red buff here. Can't click on the Jax, there we go. And if I were on this team, my call would just be run straight down mid and win it. Maokai almost healed after tanking Baron already, which is nice. Jack's gonna go 1v5 and feed, unless the other team doesn't turn around. Okay, there's actually only 2 there. I don't know why the other team would be split at this point in the game. Their last hope was to get like a really good fight under turret, but with those 2 picks, this game is 100% over. Oh, Anivia just picking him off with her enormous burst damage. Good disables. Excuse me. Alright, Wickidbliss. Keeping things real. And that's a win. So that was a pretty convincingly won game. That was pretty darn one-sided. Nivea just started getting Magi stacks with her not very good Magi's purchase, and just pulled that right out. So yeah, that's about it for that game. It was pretty good, like pretty well played. I mean, the other team didn't put up much of a fight, but the Maokai play by Wickidbliss showcased some pretty good moves, especially early game when the game outcome was still in doubt. We've got a bit of some good sapling, some good warding, a good build in a game where no one bought good items. I feel like if the other team had bought items that weren't awful, they might have had more of a chance. But there's not much you can do when Anivia buys crappy items and then you give her 10 kills so that her Magi stacks to full, basically for free. It's really hard to come back from that. And of course Ashe was getting farmed, so even though she bought her items in the wrong order, she got there in the end, and her getting there with Ayaj Phantom Dancer is like 100 times as good as MF getting there with Ghostblade Starks. I don't know what she was building, but it was bad. So I feel like that game came down a lot to just sort of poor decision making by the other team and just bad items, so they couldn't compete. And Nidalee dying to minions really early against the Anivia, just like forgetting about Egg, I guess, cost them the game. And our heroes didn't fuck up and were able to push through it. So many thanks to Wickidbliss for submitting that replay. What a great guy. Am I right? I am right. And if you want one of your games commentated, I'm still taking games. I won't be for very much longer, so if you've got a replay that you'd like me to do, send it over. I have, I think, currently 1 or 2 more to go, and I'll probably stop at 5 viewer replays. I think that's what I'll do. So if you send yours in, you are probably going to be the last one to go, last one to make it on the channel at this for this go round. Right, if you have a replay to record, you can view one of the previous viewer games of the announcement to learn how to record and whatever, but send the replay to eterncommentaries@gmail.com. If you enjoyed the video, please feel free to comment, rate, and subscribe to my channel. I really appreciate all of those things, and I will be bringing you more awesome videos in the future. So cheers and GG.